That, my friends, means that the light at the end of the tunnel, the beacon in this wild and crazy world is back. That, my friends, is Midway Radio. And I am Carlos Gomez. We needed to hurry up and go live because Sean is on the run. Popo is on his ass, and we needed to hurry up and go in. But
What's
before
that like?
we go on and figure out why Popo's after him, let's welcome Griffen.
AKA the Immortal Griffin.
Yes, what's up, man?
The immortal one. But right before we were on the show, you were talking about, actually, before we get there, because I always do this to these guys and then I get dirty looks later because, you know, people like Sean want to talk. Hey, Sean.
Hey, guys.
People want to talk every time he broadcasts. They get a beacon on where he at and shit.
I know, hurry up and mute.
They can triangulate your signal.
Oh, don't it? Oh, DJ Risky Business is here.
Every fucking week, I'm right here, except when I'm not.
I was going to say, well, you just proved that you're not because you're just asking about a previous episode that you were not on. So let's not.
But we're in a judge-free zone. I mean, because cops are after Sean, and you know.
I was on the run that day too.
I'm just saying, let's not start off the show lying to the people.
Let's start out the show by introducing Ryan Brockmeyer.
Risky on the run, eating.
Dude, so
very possible I would have been her.
I wanted to go ahead and go off script for 1 second because I wanted to talk to you guys about. There's like what?
Isn't this entire show off script? By the way,
I didn't get a script. I'm saying.
Yeah.
I wanted to bring up a couple things. The world is somewhat lost. We have about what, like 25 tropical storms and hurricanes happening all at the same time. Maria. Like the whole west side of the country is on fire. Bears are 0-2. Jay Cutler is undefeated in Miami. Like, what in the hell is going on right now?
Cats and dogs living together. Chaos.
Mass hysteria.
And for all the White Sox fans out there, I know what you're going to say. The Cubs win the World Series and the world is off tilt. We get it.
May not win it again this year, but at least they're going back to the playoffs.
They're on their way. If they keep playing the way that they're playing, they're going to go all the way.
Yeah, I think they have a shot.
Playoffs are another story. They could turn it around
every year for the next 4 years.
Yeah, without a doubt. Yep, playoffs are another story, but that means you have a much smaller, tighter pitching staff, and you've got the best of the best, and our best of the best can compete with anybody in the league, period. End of story.
Speaking of the Cubs, I know we got a few midway things to go through, but I noticed that that your boy Griffen Scarface was in Indianapolis over the weekend, and I've seen him on more than one occasion rocking some Cubs gear. Is he a Cubs fan, or is he appealing to some of the Midwest fans there?
He's a Chicago fan, and they
son
won the World Series. So what the fuck, you rock? But he's a Chicago fan, you know what I'm saying? Like, Scarface got family here and shit. Like, he got shit that live here, so second city type shit.
Yeah. So anyway, should we get it? Midway. What have we been doing with Midway?
I don't know.
I got t-shirts available. Y'all need to hit the website.
We got t-shirts like a mug, boy. MidwayDoc.threadless.com. Get that collection, son.
Yes. We'll mention that in a second. We've been doing some interviews. Got back in interviews a couple weeks ago. This last week we did another 2. And me, Risky, and Sean were there for those. We did our DJ RTC. He's one of the co-founders of Closed Sessions. And we also did Raul Stewart. He is, for those of you who don't know, longtime guy behind the scenes. Currently, he is managing Twista. I was going to say currently, but he's been managing Twista for a long time now. So got those done. Sean, Risky, any comments on those interviews that we...
For me, on both of them, RTC, with Closed Sessions, he's always put out really quality stuff, and I give him credit for keeping, in a world where you have to kind of follow trends to make money. He's more focused on what he thinks is dope, and has continued to do that and put money behind projects, and I give him credit for that. And with Raw's just got stories for days, and I mean, what it was really interesting to hear him, with some of these interviews, talking to people that are not necessarily artists but are kind of behind the artists, and help them with the moves that they make to be successful. Twister is one of the kind of Mount Rushmore of Chicago hip hop, and I mean, I don't think that's even a question for most people. And Raw was also, as much as you have Big Fub was a major part of that, and then you also have Raw, who was a major part of really a lot of the commercial success that took him over the top. So good stuff.
Yeah, it was pretty good, man. I've been knowing RTC for a long time. Goes back to like his Ruby Hornet days. So it was good to see old friends again, and hear him talk about his journey from being like in the blog world and other stuff that he was doing on the internet to now kind of curating and owning a label. So I think that was pretty dope. Also Raw, he was pretty. It was pretty good, man, to hear all the Twisted stories. And I've known him for a while because, like, my best friend he's brothers with my best friend. So it was good to be able to ask him stories about Twist, and also ask him stories that I know. I mean, ask him stuff that was important to him. So it was a pretty good interview.
Everyone meet Griffin's penis.
What the fuck?
He stood up and just like teabagged the webcam.
I don't know.
Well, this is already going off the fucking rails.
I was expecting to get a couple more minutes in, but hey.
Real life happens every day, B.
Oh, that was a realness. That was a realness I was not ready for.
Yeah.
Yeah, follow that up, dipshit.
Come back from that.
I'm just gonna come back because this is gonna be a fun one. I just want to say, keep reiterating a couple things with Midway, and one is that we're still interviewing. So as much as I want to finish up and get on to the next step of the project, we are still interviewing. So
hey,
a lot of things have
we're still interviewing.
Scheduled.
Yeah, I got it. Yo, the editing finna be a motherfucker. Y'all finna be like, we're still editing.
We're still editing.
Yeah.
We're still editing.
Damn, boy.
I'm not looking forward to that one.
You know what though?
But I am looking forward to it.
Good things come. Wait, good things come.
Oh, you can't get it right.
Way to go. Yeah.
You know what?
Here's the researcher.
Yeah.
Go fuck yourself.
SOCKS.
Any other comments, Captain Dyslexic, or are we can I move on to the next item?
Well, I will say that while I don't have dyslexia, that's a very serious.
George Bush, full George fucking Bush. You can't get fooled again. That's it.
You can't fool me once.
Yeah.
Stupid.
Anyway, I was watching. So I don't know if any of you guys are into like any of the Ken Burns documentaries, but they just started his latest one, which is the Vietnam War on PBS last night. I did not start watching it yet, but I did watch. They had like a preview, kind of like a behind the scenes thing before, which I watched. They worked for almost 10 years on that.
Wow.
So what you saying, Ryan?
Yeah. Well, hey,
what?
One.
No.
It's gonna be the
We're still interviewing.
the detox movie and shit.
No. The one thing that I'm going to say is that we are not working on this for 10 years. So,
Hell no, we're not.
I will say though that from an editing standpoint, because people ask us that all the time, and as a technical, from a technical aspect, what we do in our interviews is, while Ryan directs and I'm interviewing, we have Sean and sometimes other people, if they're there, not only while they're handling, and Ryan's handling a lot of the technical aspects of it, but Sean is there. What's that?
Directing?
Yeah, directing. Okay. Way to drop your position credit. No, but fuck you, both of you. No, but what we do is Sean and Ryan both take notes throughout the whole interview. They're listening very carefully. And then they're marking down times. And that's one of the systems that we have in place to cut down on having to, we have ideas of where we're going to go right to. Like if we're looking at Griffin's interview, we'll have like maybe 30, 40 different literally timed bullet points where he starts saying something that we want to pull for the film. So while there is a lot of stuff to go through, we do have an organization to it.
Ryan, Sean, how much faster would recording go if Risky stayed home?
Yeah, go ahead, smartass. You know what? Good luck Thursday, Wednesday, motherfuckers. Carlos, I hope you fucking can find cheap plane tickets because you just moved up.
The only thing,
we gotta sell a lot of T-shirts before I can make it.
The only negative thing that I will say about Risky and his interviews is that
it's part of the fucking process.
Is that sometimes I will wait because we like to do some pauses as the interviews goes on because with our memory system we're allowed to record about 20 minutes at a time, and that's good because that also helps break up stuff and it's a lot easier to go through stuff afterwards. Now, when we get down to like 5 or 6 minutes left for the guy talking, and then we go on to the next question, I'm like, that's plenty of time to get one more question in. But then Risky takes another 3 or 4 minutes asking the question. And then we have to stop.
I have a very
specific
way in which that I get everybody comfortable with the question coming. It's all part of the process.
I get it.
Hey Griffin, you were.
You know what? Question. Does anybody fuck with Diane Sawyer?
You were interviewed already. Hang on, before Risky goes on a F-bomb rampage. Griffin, Griffin, you were interviewed already, weren't you? Yeah. Explain that whole scene and was Risky truly long-winded?
Motherfucker.
For my shit,
that's
like,
a yes.
He just said there was breaks. We didn't have no fucking break. So what are you talking about with the breaks? I didn't get a fucking break. But,
that's because Risky kept talking.
I don't remember breaks at all. I just remember we did it, and when it was over, I was like, "Fuck!" It was like 5 things I wanted to say that I fucking forgot and shit. But
now's your time. What were the 5 things?
Dude, that shit was. When did we did that shit? Like 2 years ago, man.
That was a long time ago.
Yep,
long time ago.
No, but like, Diane Sawyer, they don't question her methods.
He just said,
no, but she's a professional.
Or Phil, I am a professional, motherfucker.
Did you say Phil? Did you say Phil Donahue?
Yeah, Dr. Risky trying to get motherfuckers to cry and shit on camera and shit. It's not working, bro.
Tell us more about when your dad left.
Damn like, Risky. About hip hop.
He took my rap career with him.
Wait. He's holding up a sign, but doesn't realize. Oh, there we go. Okay. This guy.
Yeah, I got another one too for you, cocksuckers.
We're trying to keep this as family friendly as possible. Let's chill on the obscenities, please.
Oh, okay.
Way too late.
You were talking about chickens.
You know what? I have no problem with chilling.
But I didn't want to say. I did want to say before we get into our guest, we uploaded a new video blog to Patreon. So for those of you guys who are listening and supporting us through Patreon, and
for those who aren't, what's Patreon?
Yeah, I was going to get to that.
I was setting you up though. I'm here for you, bro.
Thank you. Good question, Carlos. Let me answer that.
You see?
Way to go,
fine-tuned machine.
Patreon is a way for people to help support the project that we are working on, and you can do that by basically subscribing to Midway content. So for as little as like $3 a month, we've got a couple different tiers: $3 a month, $5 a month, even $10 a month. And for those, you get access to blogs, to exclusive videos, and a bunch of other stuff that we're trying to share. And all that money helps us pay for a lot of things that add up really quickly in the city of Chicago, like parking and gas and things of that nature. Paying for our storage and our web hosting and all that shit. It adds up very fast. So patreon.com/midwaydoc. Go there and check it out. And
we should have a level there where Risky does everyone's ringtone, and it's just like when their phone rings, it's him saying "fuck you, cocksuckers."
Yeah, go fuck yourself.
He's in. That's the other one.
And then the other way, we get a lot of positive feedback for some of the shirts and stuff that we're putting up. So go to midwaydoc.threadless.com and check those out. We got a lot of different designs up there. We got more coming. So we're gonna
I see that new Rubber Room shirt up there.
Yeah.
Ooh. Yeah. Nah, that's pretty sick.
Did you design it?
Oh no, Ryan did that.
Oh.
Ryan got the best group. Yeah, Rubber Room. Give it to him.
We've got a series of shirts called The Elements that we're putting out because it's all elements that make up Chicago hip hop. So we're trying to do as many of those shirts as we can. So we're going. So we got one for my man Griff coming up soon.
Exploit me for the crib, for the culture.
That's right. That's right.
That's what I'm talking about. That's a t-shirt in itself. Exploit me for the crib.
You can't have that one though. That's mine.
Word up.
Griff, man, what's up, dude? Thanks for hopping on with us tonight, man.
What up? Appreciate you, man. I respect all of y'all and what the fuck you doing. This shit is super dope.
Thank you.
So, yeah,
Thank you.
Yes,
yeah. What
and I found your eyebrows, B. Like last time I couldn't see him, I see them motherfuckers, man.
Wait, what?
Oh my! I lost my train of thought.
Get it? What's up, Ryan?
No. I'm just,
he's mad because he didn't get no time off during his interview. Paid off for vacation time.
No, we like to ask people that we brought on that have been interviewed for the project. Just like what were your thoughts as far as going into this when you first heard about that this project was happening, and then maybe what you've seen it progress into now?
I still think it's fucking dope. I thought it would have been done sooner though. Like the long and shit. To be real honest with you and shit, I thought that shit would have been out like this year-ish or something. But I respect that y'all got to enter. Like there's so like Chicago exploded, so there's way more names that got added to the list like over the course of the last 24 months that hadn't happened before and shit. So to do it cohesively and proper, like you got to dig in and keep fucking recording as they pop up and shit. But I thought it was a dope ass idea because it was just like, how the fuck, bro? Like when you're explaining this to me, I'm like, everybody from when? From the beginning, like the beginning, like fuck, dude. Like, yeah, Lofty. And I'm excited to be a part of that shit and get to see it whenever that shit is done. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, shit, we got 210 interviews done, I think.
213.
Oh, 213. Holy shnikes.
Yeah.
Boy, you can even think about being like, that's crazy, man. That's crazy.
It's it's one of those things. It's like we're trying to be as complete as possible, but we, it's also again, it's not a project it's a project that we want to see out just as much as everybody else. So
we just want to make sure we take our time and not cut corners,
Yeah, and you can't skip nobody. Somebody might shoot at you from this motherfucking shit. Like, well, in the movie, motherfucker, like
there you go.
So you gotta cover all fucking corners and shit. Get everybody.
Yeah, no, without a doubt.
That's actually really real.
I'm not.
We saw Chirac.
Jeez.
Who saw Chirac?
I saw that shit.
I didn't.
Too.
I refuse to watch that shit.
Don't ever waste your time.
Yeah.
Yeah, this shit was pretty bad.
It was just
like that was.
It was just a bad movie. It's not even bringing bad light to
Chicago.
Chicago. It was just a bad movie.
Yeah. It just wasn't a good fucking film and shit. And it was shoddily put together. And like it was some unexpected shit. Like I thought Wesley Snipes was good in the shit. He was the comedic, whatever. It was unexpected. It was some good performances and shit, but overall that shit horrible and that shit.
Wow.
That shit was not. Nah.
I mean, but just coming from Spike Lee, man, you would think that he would do more for, just for making a film, but I feel bad, man. Like
Spike Lee is he hit or miss and shit. You know what I'm saying? Like some of the shit
you
get.
I got pissed because when he came here, he just continually dissed Chicago too, and he made it a point to do that.
Yeah, but that's some New York ass shit. We've been dealing with that shit forever.
No, I'm saying, but yeah, it made me want to literally break his fucking nose. Like I was so pissed, like when I'd see him in interviews.
Yeah, but the one good thing is that, even though he might be talking crap, he did hire a lot of people from Chicago. A lot of people from Chicago did get a lot of work from that movie.
Like he hired a lot of people from Chicago. He talked to a lot of people from Chicago. Like he did engage in the community to an extent. And when he was snapping, like on the one hand, it's a business and you selling a movie. It's like the Conor McGregor way and shit. Nobody gave a fuck about Floyd fight until dudes talk. So he did selling the fight. So Spike makes motherfuckers go to the theater one way or the other. So all of that shit while you promoting the film and you doing your job as a director and all of that shit, put by the wayside. You know what I'm saying? That shit's whatever. It's part of the fucking business and shit.
My shit was when he tripped on. He was on the afternoon show or the morning show, and the one chick, I can't remember her name. She was kind of checking him and going at him about the mistreatment of some of the Chicago, like the way with the Chirac thing and the way he's kind of handling it very loosely with violence, and then he goes, and people were saying something. He goes, man, Chicago has nothing but a inferiority complex with New York, and he goes, all you guys always have this inferiority complex, and I'm like, what?
I do remember him saying that and shit, and that's tripped out because I really think it's the reverse. Because every New York motherfucker I've run into outside of New York won't stop telling me how they from New York. Like
I agree.
Yeah.
And I'm
like, told me that already. Like, what's next, motherfucker? Like that shit doesn't matter that much, but they like really be on that. But I'm from New York and such as like, dude, nobody gives a fuck, bro. Like, you know what I'm saying? And that's like they kind of be on that shit a little bit. You know what I'm saying?
I don't give a shit that you're from New York. Like, I don't give a fuck that you're from New York. Like, you shouldn't give a fuck that I'm from Chicago.
Right up. I'm not like when I was in Atlanta. The only time we ran into any super issues was with like New York niggas, and it's because they was talking about how they was from New York so motherfucking much and shit. Like, dude,
yeah, you and fucking 9 other million people. Who cares?
We in Atlanta, of course. Like New York is right there, motherfucker. It's a gang of y'all in this motherfucker.
Anyway,
speaking of Chicago movies though, who's ready for Shake, Bag, and 6?
Yeah.
Our man Aztec De Niro directing and writing and starring in that. He just dropped the second trailer for that today.
Right, that's what I thought. It's like trailers out and shit. He been doing that shit.
It looks amazing.
I saw some of it, which I don't know if I'm supposed to say that, but he was showing me some clips on his phone in a pretty inebriated state. Didn't give anything away, but you know, since he's a director, who's going to be mad at him, right? No, the stuff that's up. I mean, Ryan was with me. We saw it. It's really well shot. He got like, and I had a discussion with him about even if a movie isn't that great quality with maybe the levels of camera, like you know what I'm saying? Like some people don't have the money to get the higher end gear, but they have a vision and they can tell a story and they can and they know how to frame a shot. And there's different ways you can tell stories to make a movie great where you don't need. But in this case, he actually has really good high quality gear, so it's a really well looking film. The look of the film is really, really clean. His shots are phenomenal, and if anybody's seen like any of his videos are really always really on point. So yeah, and I'm sure the story is going to be good. He's a really creative dude, so I am looking forward to that, and like legitimately.
Yep.
How long has he been working on that film?
A year maybe.
Yeah, a little less than a year.
Yeah.
Yeah, it went actually fairly fast.
I thought it was longer than that. He's been really on that.
Griffen, do you die in this film?
I'm not in this film. Thank you.
So this would make it the kind of second Chicago hip hop film that I know of. I'm not saying that's an official statement or anything, but the first Chicago hip hop film that I know of would be Trust None.
Yeah. Yeah, shout out to Coney and EC on that one.
Yep, shot by Coney Rock, Little E, Psychodrama, Crucial Conflict, Legendary Trackster, and Rest in Peace.
Coney Rock shot the Earn video and shit. Shout out to Coney Rock.
Nice.
Oh, nice. Yeah, as he should. That's dope. And then
Coney Rock came on my other show, Sketch Zone. So I talked to a bunch of creative folks. He came on and he had me tripping because he was like, he had to have like the perfect shot. So he's setting up his phone as he was sitting on the stairs and stuff. He's like, okay, how about now? How about now? He'd move his phone a little bit. How about now? How about now? We're going live.
He's a cinematographer, man. Coney's awesome, man. Coney's
I like the shit he did when he did the whole Rhyme Fest album or whatever. Like the album was trash, but the videos was dope as fuck. You know what I'm saying? The visuals was dope. The album wasn't shit though. But
still got my sealed copy.
Right, Chad, were you in this movie?
You know what's funny?
were you
like a crackhead?
No, I was not in it. In fact,
how much was one rib?
I think at the time, I can't remember if he asked me or not, but I think the part that he was because I was always around the tip at that time, and I don't remember what happened, but the part that was up for any of us that if we would have done it was a crackhead, right? And Rusty Chains did it, but let me tell you, Rusty Chains, God bless him, played that part to the T. Because Rusty is grimy as fuck, and he looked fucking. He was masterful at that. Yeah, it's a good flick though. It's a good film, and you know who else is in it? And we'll make a little little short discussion about this. Was Rest in Peace Payroll. Payroll was in it, and recently we just heard the news that another great Chicago hip hop artist. Payroll had passed this week.
And this week?
Well, last week, actually, yes. Yeah. So, well, technically, actually, from what I heard, it was a couple weeks ago, but they had just found out.
That's crazy. Buddy was dope. Like, I remember his first tape and shit with the Kanye shit. He sounded a lot like Jigga and shit, but he was dope. And then that's the nigga that hit Kanye with the fucking champagne bottle and shit. Yeah, Isaac Hayes.
Yeah.
When he got signed to the Rock and shit and he came to the shot, like, that's crazy, nigga. Damn. But he was dope, though.
He was an interesting dude. I actually was texting with him the day before he just kind of came up missing.
What the fuck? What happened?
I think Well, I don't know if it's official yet. Like I saw them come out and say another report came out and said that it was a drug overdose, but I don't know. So I'm not going to say what exactly. I'd heard several different stories and sources. One of these hip hop, not DX, but one of these blogs came out and stated that it was a drug overdose, but I don't know, to be quite honest with you.
It's fucked up.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so I don't know.
Shout out to Payroll, man. Rest in peace.
Shout out to Payroll. Rest in peace.
He was dope.
He was a really good dude. So let's get into some discussion with you, Griff. Before we went on this podcast tonight, we'd started promoting it earlier this week, and you had mentioned it. You posted on your page, and then immediately we got a response from some of your brethren, Mr. Cool Out Chris and Tony Baines, the Baines God. They had mentioned something about your first meeting that possibly led to a possible altercation. I don't know.
Man,
I'm just gonna go ahead and
Tony Baines.
Risk could be telling stories without having the facts. I don't know, but I heard.
I don't know. Well, no, we got one of the horse's mouths here, so let's hear it.
Dude, that's Tony Baines being Tony Baines. That's my big brother and shit. But, like, I mean, if you battling some little dudes you look at as kids and they roasting your ass, like your first inclination is you want to spank them and shit, but it wasn't that type of situation. But we got them dudes. And after the battle, like pretty much we got put in Elements of Nature and shit, like 15, 16 years old and shit, you know what I'm saying? So that's how we got like in Elements, was like Chris, to the point where they ain't like it, to the point where they had to put us down with their fucking crew and shit for the most part. So that was like our whole intro to Rubber Room Spillane's, fucking with all them niggas and shit off some battle shit.
Nice. And you ended up, you guys, Elements of Nature, obviously was a pretty large crew. Now you were from the South Side. They were based mostly out of Maywood, right?
Yeah, out west. Most of them, all of them had, pretty much Maywood ties. Like they all like went to school together and shit and hung out there and got with Jesse and was frequent at the Elbow Room and all of that shit and all the spots. You know what I'm saying? Deep as fuck.
Absolutely.
Together. So yeah,
we've had many stories about the infamous house on Austin.
It's a couple infamous houses dealing with fucking elements, nigga, from dirty to mad. Like, you know what I'm saying? It's a lot. It's a few infamous houses and shit, but yeah, we ain't gonna get into that. You had your Rubber Room interview already. Yeah, you got that shit from the horse's mouth, boy.
For those that don't know, do a quick kind of family tree of Elements of Nature and kind of, because that was an early Chicago supergroup.
Conglomerate, really. Like it was, you had the Sinai faction, which was me and Two and all our crew and shit, but you had Verb, all four, Rubber Room, Spillane's, Indigenous Theory, Children of Reality. And, Indigenous Theory, Gravity was part of that group. He was Marco and Freddie Jellybean, who went on to act and shit and all the movies, Freddie Rodriguez and shit. He was a part of Children of Reality, that duo. Yeah. It was nigga, it was thick. Like, it was thick as fuck. One of them things.
Were there any ever, like, I believe there's like maybe one or two songs that float out there as Elements of Nature songs, but was there any plans to ever do like an album?
Nope.
I lost Risky. He said any play.
No worries, we lost you for a second. Hold on. You still there, Griff?
Might have a faulty connection.
Yeah, everybody.
There we go. He was asking if there was ever any plans to do kind of like a crew album,
like a full
or a crew
album
project.
Not as was kind of serious with factions within factions and shit. So it was like a Telane's thing, but it was always Avalanche branch, which was me, Verb, Thoughtful, producing all of that shit. So that was like maybe the only plan of like a big group effort, but there was no like elements and nature mixtape or no shit like that, as there should have been, but there wasn't.
For sure. What's the story behind JP Schmedrick?
JP Schmedrick. So that was Tony Baines, Marco, and Bionic, Stefan, and they already had like a band thing going and shit where they were using an MPC with live instrumentation on stage. Those at the Elbow Room, and then I did a studio session. The studio they work at, weekend of the session, they were like, "Yo, you should be in the group." Shit, join the group. So I was in JPS. We recorded like songs. Never put that shit out. The shit was real dope. But like me and Tony were the main rappers. But everybody had their own little. East Magic was a short-lived project around 97 and shit.
Yeah, that's what I want to hear that fucking thing, man. Who's got those tracks?
Of JPS shit, everything has all that shit. So we have.
Hold on, we're losing you.
The suspense is killing me.
Just when he's gonna tell us where it's at.
Not losing y'all at all.
We need
like,
that music.
Good. Yo.
Yeah, you know what? Hey, you're breaking a little bit. Maybe. Well, hold on. Carlos, do you have any other programs running on your computer in the background?
Let me see. I don't think so. Hold on.
Are your kids playing video games or anything?
Probably.
Yeah, tell them to cut that out.
Hey man, don't tell me how to raise my fucking kids, nigga. No.
If they're playing online or something, that might be
No, I'm fucking. No, we should be good. I close shit, but I never lost y'all. Like I can hear you, so I don't know.
You can hear us. Okay.
Yeah.
So really quick, what happened? Who's got the JP Schmedrick stuff?
I have that of it, and Bionic has that shit. It's not lost. Like we have that shit. Definitely.
That's good.
All that shit. Insect invasion.
That's wonderful news.
Yeah, I have that shit. Matter of fact, yeah, I'm gonna make a phone call. That shit needs to see the light of day. Because it's all original. Like motherfuckers didn't sample shit. You know what I'm saying? Like
that's dope.
So we can put that shit out on some right away. So yeah, I forgot. JPS, man, that was some shit.
That's what we're here for. Research. Research and development.
Growth and development, motherfucker. Yeah.
We're gonna need copies of those albums for the
why the fuck you keep coming in like a game show host? Some shit, like.
Someone has to
like motherfucker going to commercials, and we'll be right back with Love Connection right after this. Like what the fuck? That shit loud as hell in my head like this.
And we're back.
Right.
I'll see you in 2 and 2.
So Griff,
dating game.
Listen. I text Griff last week, so I text Shondo and I text Griff and I said, "Hey, there's a show coming up. Do I want to go on Sunday? I wasn't able to make it, but Buck Inside we're having this show." And I'm like, "Yo, Griff, you want to roll to this show?" And he goes, "I can't. I'm doing a show." And I'm like, "Oh, really? You rapping?" He's like, "No, I'm in a play." And I'm like, "Excuse me?" I said, "You're going to a play?" He's like, "No, I'm in a play."
Nigga. Yeah.
So,
you should have came through that
explain yourself, Griffin.
I was in a play at the Harris Theater and shit like last week.
That's dope.
And I played a drug kingpin and shit, so it wasn't like a difficult.
Oh boy.
And shit out this motherfucker. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't Romeo and fucking Juliet, nigga.
I mean,
it was a play we wrote. It was about some Chicago shit. You know what I'm saying? I played a Chicago dude. It wasn't a far stretch. You know what I'm saying? But it was a play, motherfucker. We did that shit. It was real dope too.
What was it called?
Out of the Blue. It was pretty much a story about some dancers and shit, and one of them gets into an altercation, and it's how they deal with the violence and the shit in Chicago. You know.
Are they? Is it going to run anywhere else, or is it already won through its run?
I mean, it was a pop off one night kind of thing and shit, but like the play is owned, like we own and operated Blue Rhythm. Shout out Blue Rhythm Collective and shit. But BRC owns the play, so it's being shopped. You might see it pop up for a 3-day weekend run or some shit. It was pretty good though.
All right. Where can we download the bootleg?
Ain't no bootleg, B. We own our masters around here, cuz.
Yeah, so, you know, like you said earlier, and I don't remember if we said this during the live, but you were in a film earlier.
Yeah, the 48-hour film project a couple years ago. I played a character and shit. I got killed in the film, but that was my little acting debut and shit. I got marked.
Are you going to follow your thespian career, like your ambitions to be a thespian?
I mean, here you go. You like that word a lot. That's the 4th time you said that shit, dude. No, like legit. I wrote a couple scripts and shit. Like I'm stupid ass. But I wrote a couple scripts, man. I fuck with that shit. I'm a writer. Like I write, period. Write stories, write scripts, screenplays.
Do you need some voiceovers?
I do not actually, but if I do, I see your email, your Twitter at the bottom of the screen, so I'll get at you and shit. No. Yeah, I'm not there yet, but I do write. I write all kinds of shit. So I mean, that's the logical next step. Entertainment goes is to entertain in other ways and shit. So it's definitely
clearly you write. How many albums have you put out?
Oh, I got like 6 albums out, but I have like 30 mixtapes out. So out like commercially, like 6 albums and shit, but just out in the stratosphere and shit, like, man, it's easily over 30.
What was that first tape that was out?
First tape? First album?
The first stuff you were put out, yeah, like the first like street stuff that people started hearing your name.
The Creature of the Mic shit, the Theater of the Mind album.
That's what I'm talking about, Creature of the Mic.
NFL, motherfucking, it was a gang of joints. Like that shit was crazy. But yeah, that's
is
like
Creature of the Mic an album, or do you consider that more of a mixtape?
Well, Creature of the Mic is a song that's on the Theater of the Mind album.
Or Theater, yeah, okay, Theater of the Mind, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like that shit was from like 90, 95, 96 shit.
Yes.
Like first shit. You know what I'm saying? First shit.
You were with Eons, and then you did, you know, you said you did the JP Smedrick, and then you had a very oddly very popular one-off kind of thing with Syllabus.
Right. Well, before that, like it started off with Cyanide, really. That was like in 91, 92 was like the whole Cyanide shit. And then that led into Elements of Nature and shit. But I like the first crew and shit was Cyanide. That shit was like 8th grade, freshman year high school type shit. But Syllabus, that was part of the collective, the whole Avalanche branch. Aaron from Rubber Room was trying to like start a label basically. And the signees, Avalanche was the name of the label, and the signees for that shit was me, Thought4, Verb, and he put us together, Syllabus, like it was 3 other acts and shit or whatever, independently and shit. And he picked that group, handpicked us, put us together, because I didn't know 2 of the other members of the group, Crypto and D. Like I didn't know them before we were in a group and shit. Like I met them when it was already, y'all Syllabus. You know what I'm saying? Like
so this was like the boy band of rap.
Yeah, some shit. It was like
Mike One really should have been in this.
That's some shit. But Isle Away, Aaron and shit, he like was handpicking rappers that he wanted to hear on his shit, and me and 2 from Side 9, he grabbed us and Crypto and D and shit and put us together, and we recorded his crib like way out in Oak Park or some shit. One song and shit. We recorded 1 joint, and after that, it was like some bullshit with the crew or whatever. We never recorded anything else. We did 1 song, we did 1 show, and I still keep hearing Syllabus and shit, and that shit is really fucking.
Yeah, that song lived on forever for a long time on
yeah, Kevin Beecham. It was AMC, man. It was his fault. He played that shit like weekly, dude. That was like one of his favorite fucking records and shit. So it made it across state lines on all them tapes and shit. So
that's dope.
Syllabus, I still hear about that shit, man. And it was dope. Right? Like it was dope. It was some, some old outer space ass shit, but it was dope. Like bars, like heavy on the bars and shit. Like We was real heavy on the bars.
Thaw4, you mentioned Thaw4. Thaw4 is someone that's one of the most, like, at least that first EP that came out, where Thought is Worshipped, I believe.
Was that the first one? He had that Thoughts Forever. He had he had a couple of them and shit. But the first one that Aaron and them put out, like the vinyl and shit. You a DJ? You talking about the vinyl he put out?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what you're talking
about.
Yeah,
where Thought is Worshipped. That's super underrated. Like I never heard people talk about. You know, my group of friends listened to it a lot, and we loved it. I didn't get to hear. I mean, I'm not saying it was or wasn't. I just felt I didn't hear a lot of people talking about Thaw4 like I felt they should have, because
it was he was over their heads. Like he was really on some like motherfucker read a lot of books and shit. You know what I'm saying? And like that wasn't like a
voice, man.
Yeah, it was super commanding and shit, like almost Chuck D-ish. But his patterns were way ahead of what the fuck anybody was doing at that time, and just his subject matter, like, you know, he was on some other shit, like totally on some other shit and shit. So niggas wasn't ready for that shit. It was over everybody's fucking head.
I mean, him as a rapper added with those beats from the Opus was just crazy.
Before it was even an Opus, like that shit was really, that shit was more so Aaron. That was like all the weight for the most, like, you know what I'm saying? On that shit. But yeah.
And JP Schmedrick did a beat on there.
Did they? Probably. It was all like, we was all family, like motherfuckers was at each other's studios and shit, you know what I'm saying? So probably, like, I don't remember the exact, but I'm sure. Oh yeah, definitely.
The song called Touchdown. I loved it.
Because matter of fact, okay, so the Thought4 session that happened at, I like was there assisting for some reason, because I just like hanging out in studios and shit, and that's part of the reason why I ended up in JP Smedrick, was like helping out on the Thought4 session. So yeah, Smedrick absolutely did a fucking track on that. They recorded like 3 songs at the Monkey House, the Smedrick studio and shit. So yeah, I remember that shit. But we was all family and shit. Like Monkey House was the studio we worked out of, and Spo with Ravon was his roommate. Ravon ended up managing Chief Keef. Spo was the fucking one of the rappers from Rubber Room. Like that whole little building was crazy and shit. You know what I'm saying? Like it was some crazy dope shit though. Dope shit happening there every fucking night. Like every night.
That's crazy. Yeah, that whole little pocket was, and I say pocket as in not only like physical space, but that pocket of time. Man, it's been unmatched for me. I'm not saying it's the best or isn't or anything like that. Everything's all fucking subjective and relative anyway. But like for me, that era of time, that was such a special moment.
Well, what it was is though, you're in a city where, like right now, everybody raps, but this is a time when everybody didn't fucking rap. Like everybody was into house music and shit. So the rap niggas was a rarity, and then the motherfuckers that was really good with a following was even more rare than that.
Yeah.
So it's like these are like the couple motherfuckers. Like it's a Rubber Room show, man. That motherfucker packed. It's a Spillane show, man. That motherfucker packed. Like, you know what I'm saying? That was, and it was only a few acts that got love like that in Chicago and shit. And you know, Elements was definitely one of them, and we was with that pack and shit. You know what I'm saying? But that's why it was an interesting time, because it wasn't like you couldn't even name 20 motherfuckers that was like popping in Chicago. You couldn't name 20, and now you can name 40. Like, you know what I'm saying? If you really sit down and start writing, 40 will come off easy as fuck. Like, you know what I'm saying? And it wasn't like that and shit. This is pre-Kanye. You know what I'm saying? This is when Common and Twista was just getting their shit off on the Tongue Twister. Mr. Tongue Twister was the name then type shit. You know what I'm saying? So yeah.
So after doing some research, on my own, tell us a little bit about that really dope, portrait you have back behind you.
Oh, this Harold Washington, my grandmother, Anna Langford. She was the first black woman in Chicago City Council. Shit, really one of the first 2 black women, period. But the other lady was black. She was black, so first black woman and shit in Chicago City Council. But yeah, that's one of my favorite little digs.
Respect.
Chicago, nigga.
Respect.
I mean, there's really nothing more Chicago than that photo right there, man.
That's right.
Chicago, nigga.
That's right.
But those that know, they know.
Yeah, Harold. It's such a cool, like, the photo itself, even if it wasn't like stylized with the focus on your grandmother and Harold, it's a cool photo anyway. But like that's just so dope how
it's amazing, man.
How it was done. Yeah,
it really
Thank
is.
you. Yeah,
Where'd you get that? Who did that for you?
I did it.
Yeah.
Like every job I ever had was had something to do with like music shit. So I used to work for CBS Radio. I used to use their studios and shit in the 90s. But I used to work there and then stay after work and use the studio and record shit. But in the early 2000s, I worked at Kinko's. And I like all my mixtape covers and shit. Like I stay after.
Hey, that's funny. That's where I happened to get mine too.
I'm saying I would print all that shit for myself, print posters, motherfucking stickers, like the whole you dig. Like I used to stain the fuck out of Kinko's and shit, you know what I'm saying? But like every job had to benefit my rap career in some way. Otherwise it was a waste of my fucking time and shit. Like it has to be dualistic. A check and rap benefits, nigga.
Yeah. Right.
And then we went from Kinko's to the place that I was working at. For whatever reason, they gave me a nice, pretty large format. It would do 11 by 17, nice laser printer in my own office at the place that I was working.
Right.
So
and then at Kinko's, they told me like the more copies we make, the cheaper it is per copy. So we have to do a lot of clicks. I'll be like, nigga, say no more. Like I'm finna burn this motherfucker.
Like, you're gonna need some more black
right? You need all this shit, boy. I'm going in. We doing full color, full bleed, all this shit. Like fuck it. For a couple years, like I worked there in Atlanta, out in Wheaton, like a couple different spots and shit. And it was like the same. I was giving out free mixtapes. I tried to make that shit as cheap as possible for myself to promote. You know what I'm saying? So
being the really great deep researcher that I am, I also had some other information. Your father, I believe it was your father that was a DJ, right?
My dad is an engineer and shit. He used to guest DJ, I guess, sometimes on WBON, but he's an engineer. He's also a fucking reporter. Like he was a reporter for WMAQ radio for like 25 years and shit. And like, yeah. So talking on the radio and shit. My brother was a fucking DJ, like a house DJ, and all the house music parties and shit. DJ Cisco, like everybody in Inglewood know that nigga. And pretty much like I was Cisco little brother until I was Griffen. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, DJs in the family like a motherfucker.
I mean, music, it just runs the whole family. Runs through you guys, huh?
Something. A little something. At least, yeah, I'll say that. I'll fucking say that.
So, what are your shorties? Are they going to be in music, or are they going to be thespians?
Oh, I knew he was going to say that.
It was coming. They're going to be whatever the fuck.
And it's not going to be the last time, mind you.
No. It's a lot more. No, they my kids, man, they're going to be whatever they want to be, but they're fucking dope. Like Joey, she has a rap song. We're about to shoot a video.
Wow.
This shit, like she's on one. I'm putting that shit on a new mixtape or whatever. Like on the first Ashton Chronicles, I did a song called Joey Simone, and it was about her, and she was a baby, so she's on the backgrounds. And now Ashton Chronicles 3, like she gonna do her own record and shit. So,
that's what I was gonna ask you. Is you got Ashland Chronicles 3? When's that coming out? That's soon, right?
Yeah, well, I'm still working. I got like 10 songs knocked out. I want to do like maybe 10 or 12 more and shit. And plus, I guess the couple people I wanted to work with that I didn't get a chance to really get it in. So I'm like making room and shit for them and working around them so I can get these verses and shit. But Ashton Chronicles 3 is coming. Folklore actually just dropped on my Bandcamp, but it'll hit Apple Music like in the next 10 days or some shit like that. So that's
all Bionic, right?
No, Bionic did all the Reanimated. We dropped that one. That shit's on Apple Music right now. Reanimated, it's all Bionic beats.
Okay, I didn't know that was Folklore too.
Yeah, no, Folklore is all Decadurs, my man from Buck Crew and shit. Like he handled all the production on that shit. And I got one after that with all SC beats. Like I tried to do some EPs and shit where it's just one producer. You know what I'm saying? Like it's kind of the Bionic model. He been on me to do that shit forever and shit.
I wish you and Mike would have done some comedy ass fucking EP.
That was the fucking plan, man. Like I just talked to that motherfucker about some shit because I had a song for him to get on Ashland Chronicles 3, but I wanted him to give me a white boy experience on being on Ashland and shit, and we was like fucking with that a little bit and shit. And
that from him, that would have been hysterical and genius.
Exactly, dude. Like so I think, and honestly, like I think I want to still do the song, and I'm gonna just leave a blank verse and let that motherfucker rap. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it'll be an empty verse where he was gonna rap just to let that motherfucker get his shit off wherever the fuck he at. You know what I'm saying? I think I might do that shit. I haven't decided, but that's one of the ideas and shit.
Griffen
I don't know what to do.
One of the most funniest, ridiculously cruel pranks I ever seen on someone. It was brilliant. Mike loved it, dude.
He deserved it.
They bonded over that prank because it's crazy, but like the harder you got Mike, the more he respected you and loved you for it.
That's true.
You know?
That's true.
So should we tell him what you did?
Yeah, but just before that, like I fucked with Mike one heavy, especially since the Elbow Room show. I did an Elbow Room show that was supposed to be with Bodie James and shit. Bodie James didn't show up. Like nobody came to this fucking show. The shit was empty. And like I wasn't even gonna do the show. And Risky comes in with Mike. And I'm like, man, I ain't gonna do the shit, whatever. You know what I'm saying? I'm cool. And then Risky's like, damn, Mike literally like didn't go do something else because he wants to come check you out. And I'm like, for real? Oh, fuck that. So boom, I go do the shit, basically perform for Risky and fucking Mike One and shit.
And we walk up to the front of the stage.
Right there at the front of the stage and shit, in the Elbow Room and shit. M Stacks is fucking DJing, my man from Ohio. Shout out to M Stacks and shit. But he's like spinning the shit. And we just did it for us and shit. But I got that shit off whatever. I get off stage and Mike is like fucking dope. Like he was acting like it was one of the dopest shows ever. And like, you know what I'm saying? Like, so from then it was just like, man, I love that dude. You know what I'm saying? So whenever we would talk, it was just like a, you know, who can get at who, like all of that shit. Like I totally respected him, but I liked fucking with him. Like that shit was a joy that I was sorely fucking miss. That shit was a joy. You know what I'm saying? Like, and I think for him too, like, you know, but yeah. So back to the Risky, you can tell the story and shit.
So Chris calls me and he goes, check this out. He goes, I don't think Mike's at this point, I don't think Mike's got this number that I got. So I go, okay. He goes, so I'm gonna text him and I'm gonna pretend like I'm a chick and then see how he reacts, right?
Oh boy.
So hold on.
No. It wasn't a chick. It wasn't a chick. I was like, I'm gonna act like I'm a dude, like he fucked my chick.
Oh, that's right.
You know what I'm saying? And I got his number and I'm finna get at him. And I told him like, dude, I was texting this motherfucker like, don't perform, motherfucker. Like your next show, dude, I'm gonna beat the fuck out.
Yeah, because you were like, you knocked up my girl. And Mike calls me and goes, this is a legit possibility. Mike's like, it's very possible I banged somebody's girl and now they want to kill me. And dude, it went on for like probably like a day, right?
The first text, I was like, yo, dude, you fuck my girl, whatever. I'm gonna get at you. And he was like, yo, bro, I promise you got the wrong one. You know what I'm saying? It's like, it's not me, no way. And I was like, nah, motherfucker, you midget motherfucking rapper. Like, I'm not doing it. And he was like, what? And then like it was like a pause. And then Risky texted me like, yo, he just called me right now. And he's like, Risky calls me and he can't tell me what happened for like 3 fucking minutes because he's crying, laughing. Like he can't. I'm like, what happened? He's like, he can't fucking talk and shit. He finally tells me what the fuck happened and shit, and I'm dying laughing and shit. So, like, it's Griff, isn't it? He's like, dude, hell no, I don't know what the fuck this shit is all about. Like, this sounds like Griff. He's like, nah, bro. Apologetically, like, man, I swear it wasn't. And if it is, like, she didn't tell me, bro. Like, I didn't know. Like, he was sweating, dude. That shit was crazy.
It was brilliant. It was so good.
So when did you finally tell him?
I think it only lasted until like the end of the day.
Yeah, it was only like 4 or 5 hours, bro. Like,
okay. I mean, the empanadas were sweating, man.
We called Chad, like, Risky couldn't stop laughing and shit. Like, this motherfucker gave that shit away. Like, dude, come on. That was some fun. Dude.
He was like, I don't know, man, but I think I could have fucked up. He goes, I don't think so. Well, yeah, what the fuck? I don't know when I black out.
Oh, that shit was hilarious.
It was
I
brilliant.
Still laugh about that shit, man. That shit was
Mike was an animal sometimes, so or a lot of the times. So,
but I like to let him have it and shit. Like this, you know, his email address, this motherfucker. I was like, yo, I got this beat and shit. I want to send it to you. And he was like, all right. I was like, what's your email? And it was like big something. And I was like, dude, I'm not sending no fucking email to this address, man. Go get another email address and then I'll email this shit to you. Like, get the fuck out of here.
Big Miklo.
Yeah, like your little ass, dude. Like your email address would be big some shit. Like, get the fuck out of here.
That's funny, man. That's the biggest thing that, man, more than anything, more than the music or any of that, man, I'll miss Mike. Was his just the sense of humor and all that. Rocking our Mike shirt.
on his Facebook page talking shit and like saying crazy shit that only he'll get. You know what I'm saying? Like other motherfuckers won't even get that shit. Like, what the fuck is wrong with you, dude? And it's like this motherfucker get that shit. You know what I'm saying? God laughing.
Him and you and Vince, man.
Yeah, Vince. I fuck with Vince.
Yeah, no, that was brilliant. I will say that.
Thank you.
And like I said, we talked about doing doing an EP. He wanted to do an EP with you, but the EP he wanted to do, while it was going to be serious raps, he really wanted to do some like funny shit, like almost a comedy EP.
Yeah, we talked about Tenacious D, the fucking Tenacious D record and shit, where it's like these motherfuckers are doing comedic shit, but they're serious fucking musicians.
Yeah, that's one of my favorite albums, man. Dude,
I love the first time I heard that fucking record, I was just like, man, we have to do the rap version of this shit. Like, there's just you gotta have the right motherfucker to do that kind of shit. Yeah, you do. That shit's all timing and whatever. But the interludes and then the songs, like, it was real songs and shit. They was just on some nutty ass shit. You know what I'm saying? And
Griff, have you ever been to a Tenacious D concert?
I have not.
It's amazing. Do that.
I'm not a big concert goer and shit. Like, I don't.
Word.
Yeah, I need elbow room. I don't do crowds too.
For sure.
I'm like performing.
Sure.
Otherwise, I'll just be like, when I was a shorty, like young as I when I'd be like,
we actually had a moment with Tenacious D. Ryan, you remember that?
Was that the Double Door?
That was the show that there was a surprise opening for Urge Overkill, and they all came back to the studio.
Oh, came back to this on.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
there's a lot of folks that came through the studio.
Yeah, right. So the studio that Mike was signed at, Island Quarters over on North Branch, it was a huge, huge warehouse space. Were you ever there, Sean?
I think once.
Okay. You were there with like Ryan Officer or somebody back then, weren't you? I think.
Yeah, I think it was like a thing going on where they were trying to get producers.
That was the night George Clinton showed up, and we rocked with George Clinton.
Yeah. That was the night.
Yeah, George Clinton just randomly shows up at our event and jumps on stage with us to, we weren't even on a stage. We were just in the room, and Mike was rapping, and George Clinton comes running up with us, and then we just start performing with George Clinton. It was.
To be fair, we already had a relationship with George Clinton.
Well, yeah,
he was on the album.
He was going to show up in the. I mean, it just made us look like fucking. We was doing some real shit. We didn't know.
Yeah. That's insane. You heard did Tony Mazer tell you Spillani's Prince story and shit?
Oh no! Yeah. Wait, we got that for Midway.
Yeah.
I keep it that, man. Goddamn. Anyway, next. Fuck it. I'll leave that shit for them.
Close to that, but that's that Islander Quarters. A lot of people would show up, and they shared space with a real famous classic Chicago group called Urge Overkill. I think their most famous song is the cover of Neil Diamond's "Girl, You'll Be a Woman Soon" from the Pulp Fiction soundtrack. Anyway, so Eddie and those guys in Nash, they were at the studio all the time. And they did their reunion show at the Double Door, but their secret opening act was Tenacious D. So they do that, but they brought everybody back to the studio after that. So Jack Black and Kyle Glass and all them were at the studio, and of course Mike got to hang out with them.
Absolutely, he should have been in that group. Goddamn near, they missed him.
Yeah, right.
But Jack Black, the Tenacious D album, that shit was incredible, man. That shit was incredible. Yeah. And
wish they do some more.
Yeah, so, just as long as it doesn't get cliche-ish, it should be getting stale and shit. Like that's some one-off shit where it's like, damn, this shit was.
One thing you do that I find dope is you always kind of represent Chicago sports more so than almost any rapper. Like, you represent. Especially, obviously, basketball, real tough. And you did your D Rose song. Just let's talk about where you feel we're at today with the Bulls and the Bears and sports today.
Do we have to? Do we fucking have to?
How you feel about D Rose in Cleveland? Let's go ahead.
Man. That's the worst shit ever. Like I'm split. Where on the one hand, I would love D Rose to get to the finals and have that opportunity to get jewelried up and shit. On the other hand, with any other motherfucking team, bro, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, not with the nigga you was supposed to eventually beat at some point and take the shit from, like, not with that dude.
Right.
But with that being said, like D-Rose is from the crib. We win. I fuck with him all day and shit. I just, I'm conflicted because my whole shit is I root for whatever team D-Rose play for, but I root against whatever team LeBron play for, and now they on the same goddamn team. So I don't know what the fuck to do.
Oh, you're like,
I'm
fuck.
fucked up. Like, I don't know what the fuck to do.
And now Bone's doing their own D-Rose song.
Oh, goddamn.
I'm kidding.
Oh, goddamn. I was like, what the fuck? You can't, they gonna just claim the nigga off a 1 year contract.
I'm joking. It's Machine Gun Kelly.
Get that about a bitch. All right. Well, I mean, whatever. I have no opinion on that.
I just had to make it worse than Bone.
Risky just like starting shit.
Yeah, he does.
With him,
armchair from the comfort of his motherfucking crib.
All that movies and shit.
Online, Twitter finger ass.
So Griffen, I just started following you on Bandcamp, and what I notice is that your folklore album cover was the picture that's on the album cover, was that done by a guy named Smurs?
That was done by Smurs, Bill motherfucking Smurs.
Yo, Smurs is my crew. Big up Smurs, CBS.
Well, CBS, DS. Yo, I'm gonna say like Smurs. When I mentioned Cyanide, I went all the way back to 91. Like Smurs is Cyanide. Like I've been fucking with Smurs since nigga 8th grade, fresh year. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah. I've known Will for a long motherfucking time and shit. So
yeah, that's
that
dope.
Smurs. Big up to Smurs. He did all the folklore artwork. He hooking up the t-shirts for that shit and all that. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah, he's a good dude, good friend of mine too.
I try to continue to fuck with my niggas that's still doing shit. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, he's an entrepreneur. That nigga got about 30 jobs like a Jamaican and shit. I fuck with Smurs and shit. Big up.
Yeah, we're gonna get him in soon. I'm trying to round up all the cast that was in our graffiti crew, and we're gonna do that all together. So big up Smurs, CBS.
Chicago Bomb Squad. Yeah, nigga. Yeah. I cab crew and shit. Like motherfuckers all did that, boy.
That's dope.
And then Durs, who produced all the folklore tracks, he's from Buck Crew and shit. You know what I'm saying? SC ass from Buck Crew too, motherfucker. SC Buck Crew like a motherfucker. But yeah, niggas got roots out here, boy.
That's dope. That's dope.
I was trying to look up the artwork.
What?
Yeah, no. Smurs is dope, man. Like I remember when he had first started doing graffiti, man, and we was trying to form a CBS crew, and yeah, I stay on the west side. My bad.
They getting close. They almost there. That was your car. They tapped your shit to see if you'll come outside.
Yo, that actually, honestly, really, Griffen, that actually happened to me, bro. That's like real on some real shit. Like some shit happened to me, like that was really important, like to my family, and they busted my window to see if I was gonna come outside. I wasn't, and I wasn't around. So luckily, I didn't go downstairs. So I stay out in Austin. You know where to find
that shit. You know what I'm saying?
Now that they know where you live.
No, I'm good. I stay out in Austin. If they coming for me, I'm right here. Like
Griffen, what's your Bandcamp?
Famous last words and shit. If they coming for me, nigga, I'm right here. Blue, get on the ground.
I got rap songs that give out my whole.
Why are you playing on my phone?
It don't even matter.
No, the Bandcamp is griffen.bandcamp.com.
See how fast he rolled that off the top of his head? You need to remember your Instagram like that, Risky.
I don't fucking know that shit.
Stop making crazy ass Instagram.
He doesn't research himself.
He made it some obscure. Did the whole alphabet and shit at ABCDEFG.
If you want to find Risky, go to twitter.com/thespian.
5 T's. 5 T's. The one in the middle is capitalized.
You asked
say it with a lisp.
Lesbian.
That's crazy.
Like lesbian.
Whoa.
Almost.
Carlos sketching his ass off right now.
Yeah, no, he's
Ramby put me to work.
I made a little sketch myself for later. So
I can't wait.
Yeah, we'll
We already saw
show that off.
GFY. We saw that shit.
Oh no, there's another one.
We saw that shit, man.
Oh, I see the Griffen element shirt. That's dope.
Oh, it's up now?
No, it's not official. It's not officially done. Griffen decided to pull the trigger a little bit fast to share with the world.
So if you act now,
God damn, that's why you get that mic announcer. You do jingles in your spare time and shit.
Hell yeah. I've got something for you.
Aw.
Man, fucking Eagle Man. That's what Chicago shit is.
So there we go. Dope. Talk a little bit about your so you had a close relationship with Scarface and you were part of Face Mob. Talk a little bit about all that.
Well, I mean, the new Face Mob, not the Face Mob that dropped the album and shit. I'm not on that shit.
Yeah.
Came way later and shit. Like, it's not much to talk about at this point. Like, guy, we got business. Hopefully, the 3 songs I sent for the, I hope that record comes out. And other than that, add Scarface, that's my man. Business relationship, Face on music shit, but that shit is for life. You know what I'm saying? So, shit.
How'd you get connected with the Face Mob guys?
Twitter.
Oh, wow.
That motherfucker got on Twitter and was talking about he need beats, he working on a record and shit. Email address, bless you. I had the email address and I told him on no beats and shit, but I has joints and I sent some songs and this motherfucker called me. And you know what I'm saying? We started talking and shit. And from then it went from there. But that shit was all off Twitter. Like I saw him tweet out that he needed beats. And I hit the email, like I ain't got no beats, nigga, but I got bars and shit. What's up? I'm trying to do this Face Mob music shit and like, you know, start having conversations all the time and shit. Wow. Yeah, Twitter.
That's shit pretty crazy because it's not like you know, it's not like fucking. I don't want to take away from somebody else, but it's not like fucking like J-Roo or something giving you a call. This is fucking Scarface. This is like, in my opinion, top 5 rapper of all time. Period. End discussion.
Absolutely. If you go into how long hip hop has been around, and there's not a lot of 20-year niggas, like at all. There's not a lot of 20-year niggas, and especially if you can't name anybody that's a 20-year nigga that didn't have a drought. Our face right. Really, and you know, you could say Jay-Z, but he had a couple. You know what I'm saying? Like when the dynasty, like now in retrospect, is, but when it dropped, it wasn't. There's a lot of his other things.
No, even Rakim and KRS One couldn't hold that up.
That's what I'm saying. Everybody, like, but you can in LL, you know what I'm saying? He had a couple different droughts where he needed somebody to challenge, reinvigorate, whatever. But Scarface never had that.
What's your favorite Scarface record?
Big fucking deal. There was no fall off. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, it was a big fucking deal to even have a conversation with this nigga, much less do business.
What's your favorite Scarface record? That's non-Ghetto Boys. Or non-Face Mob.
Mary Jane, obviously.
Well, I'm saying the whole album.
Oh, you said, oh yeah, well you said record, like you old school as shit, man. I'm thinking album shit, but album wise, shit.
What's
like
your favorite
I don't know.
one you play?
Yeah, I think motherfucking the last one, the Deeply Rooted shit, because it was so balanced and updated. I think Deeply Rooted to me, like catching up and being able to like shit. It's the same thing with Jay-Z, like the 444. It felt like that, where motherfuckers be giving game to younger motherfuckers and shit, but still in a dope ass way, where it's not like, you know what I mean? But I think the last one was like this nigga best work. Like that shit, no problem. When that shit dropped, I turned back into a fucking fan. You know what I'm saying? That shit was incredible, in my opinion.
Yeah. What about you, Sean?
Face is so dope, man. I can't pick one.
No, you have.
I can't pick one.
No, fuck
No.
you. You have to pick one.
No. Back on mute. The police are after me.
Sean, get a pair of nuts and pick a fucking Scarface album.
Nah, you have to say 3 though, because it would be motherfucking. I think actually it'll be like The Fix, Deeply Rooted, and then The Diary. It would have to do.
Jesus Christ, that's what I'm saying.
I go with The Fix.
Yeah,
I think I can say The Fix is easily the best one for me. Again, it's all subjective, so no one can be like, "Oh, that's whack." Like I'd never trip on somebody's opinion of any music, but for me, The Fix is like that's one of the most perfect albums in the history of hip hop.
I agree. Well, you see, I revamped it like when it came on, like, okay, yeah, Fix would be number 1, Deeply Rooted would be 2, and The Diary would be 3. In my, I had a chance to digest.
Do I not get a say?
No, we're going with where I was getting to you, motherfucker. Slow it up. Bump the brakes. Bump. All right, Ryan. What's your favorite Scarface album?
The Fix.
Nobody cares.
No, in the back of his mind, he's like patting himself on the back because he was really proud for that. He was really looking forward to trying to time that joke.
I set you up for that. Yes, no, but no. I mean, yeah, The Fix is. It's just, man, it's one of those perfect moments, and that's probably it could be fucking Kanye's best moment in all of his career too.
The Face record.
Yeah, for me. I mean, I really have to kind of go back and listen to a lot of things, but it might be production-wise, it's not his stuff as far as his production. That's because to me, the Fix is better than the Blueprint.
Okay. Well, Kanye only did like 2 or 3 songs though on the Fix.
Yeah, no, that's more than that. Did he just do 3?
Yeah.
It wasn't that. He didn't do
fucking look.
Like half the album and shit.
I'm already looking, but if you'd like to double check me, that's fine.
So Mike Dean, Kanye.
That's because the Fix was on Def Jam and Kanye was produced.
I did promo for The Fix.
That shit was good work. The album cover, the shit came in the package, dope baggy and shit. That shit kind of the original shit.
Yep.
Yeah, I got that original pressing of it. Mike Dean, Neptunes. That's right. Yeah, no, they were on. It's a great record. Last of a Dying Breed's dope, man. Like,
I don't see how y'all could just pick one.
Yeah,
like I could see The Fix,
record. But I mean,
fuck.
You know,
and I still
like asking like, what's Prince's best album?
Right.
Like,
right.
Prince best fuck. Like, there's no way to do that shit, G.
I still love Mr. Scarface's Back. That first album is still bangs.
Well, and then nobody mentioned The World Is Yours with fucking like You Don't Hear Me Though with DMG.
I mean, that shit was dope. It's just that as a motherfucker career progressed and you peep the development, whereas the middle and end, like you see the mastery of the shit. Whereas before it's like the hunger is the drive. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But not really the word mastery or whatever. And not to take nothing away from it, the shit was dope. It was just like as a motherfucker's career progressed, you peep the progression of the artistry, and you can't do shit but admire that. Like, yeah, this is better than that. It should be. It's, you know what I'm saying? It came 5 years later or whatever. Like a nigga learned a lot more shit in 5 years, so it better be fucking better, in my opinion.
Yeah. I think his only the least one is for me was the My Homies, the original My Homies. But that's because it was more of a group album.
Disc. Yeah, it was a double disc. It was a feature on every song on purpose, and it was a bunch of unknown motherfuckers, and half of them never did shit after that.
Yeah, no, I mean, yeah. But then
it was
he
a lot of
back.
songs. Like, it was 2 fucking albums. Like that shit, you know.
Yeah, that's why I kind of
double albums is hard to pull off, G.
Oh, no, for sure. Well, that was that era, too, where it was like everybody was putting out double albums, and then fucking like 8-Ball and MJG put out or 8-Ball puts out a triple album, and everybody's trying to outdo each other with doubles and triples. And it's like, yeah, you can make a bunch of beats, but how about you just give us your illest shit and not a bunch of throwaway shit?
Exactly. Numbers as opposed to for the fucking artist self and shit. That shit sucks. But I don't think that's what Face did. I think he was legitimately trying to put on niggas.
No, I agree.
And shit, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I'm not saying that's what 8 Ball and MJ did either, but that's like the mindset. You know what I'm saying? Like, oh, nigga, I'm gonna do a quadruple fucking album. You know what I'm saying? Like Prince with the crystal ball and all. Like, why? What the fuck? I don't need this much music at one time, dude.
Yeah, and it's hard to process that too. Even like in today's market, man, you can't go past an EP or you lose people.
Yeah, the attention span is minute than a motherfucker. That shit tiny, man. It's tiny.
Have you changed?
But even
have you changed how you record or release music because of that?
I mean, the model of the latest, like doing EPs with one producer and shit, trying to keep it short and sweet, 6 or 7 songs.
I love that, dude. I legit love it. I love a sound. I love like that you're just fucking with one guy and it's not this incohesive sound. It's one kind of sound and it could be different vibes and songs, but it's coming as a team.
I look at it like I'm a fucking writer, and each one of these pieces is like, you got a novel, but you got novellas, you got little papers, you got different versions, and all of these things are different lengths. Like everything isn't a full fucking book. You know what I mean? So you got albums, and those are books and shit. You got double albums, those are like books with volumes. You know what I mean? But then you got EPs, and those are like short stories almost and shit. You know what I'm saying? Like bringing back the maxi single days when you had 3 fucking songs and a remix on a tape. You know what I'm saying? Like for the short attention span motherfuckers, it's like you can't ignore the audience and shit. You gotta balance that shit. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, I've definitely changed like the thought process and putting shit out, like no release dates and just making music available. And even like with the Bandcamp model, like now it's like I don't even put out music and charge for it. Initially it's like just subscribe for $15 or $25 for the year, and anything I'm dropping, you get it early. So you know what I'm saying? All the models are changing with streaming and with availability, online shit. Like it had to fucking change. It's doper to me anyway. Like if this shit was around 20 fucking years ago, please. Like Rubber Room, Spillani's, Griff, like all that shit, motherfuckers would have been on top of the stratosphere, boy.
Yeah, it opens up the playing field, you know, and lets the cream kind of really rise to the top, so to speak. Out of like what Chicago, like the new Chicago, what they call new Chicago rappers, right? Who do you personally, is there anybody that you really like checking for or you like listening to?
I think Vic Mensa is interesting and shit. Like I had I liked him a lot before the Rock deal, and then it was some shit that I didn't really like, and then he dropped some more shit that I like a lot. So I fuck with Mensa and shit. Keep fresh for a minute. You know what I'm saying? Like there's a few of them. Like Chicago has a lot of different flavors and shit. Like I like some of the shit Dirk does. I like who the fuck else? I like a lot of little niggas, and it's a lot of the shit I don't motherfucking like or appreciate, but it's because I don't like. I think we're on different kind of drugs, to be honest. Like I smoke a lot of weed. I don't drink lean and shit. I don't pop Xanny, so I don't know like what zone you get in when you're listening to music off that shit. And it's a different zone. So I really like appreciation for the keeps and that kind of shit where I can't understand it, but I do fuck with a lot of little niggas and shit. You know what I'm saying?
That's dope, because a lot of like people from our generation have issues that I don't think are warranted or fair. It's kind of that whole like, if you don't dig it, cool, it ain't for you, but that don't mean it's whack or bad.
Yeah, exactly. And I can't, if a bunch of people like some shit, G, I can't tell them nothing. How the fuck can I tell you what you like? Like you like what the fuck you like, dude, for whatever reason. That's what you like, G. I don't govern that shit. I can't. You know what I'm saying? And to try to govern what other people like, you're a fucking asshole. Period. Like you can't. Yeah. But I don't have to subscribe to it and act like I like some shit because it's popular. You know what I'm saying? Like, nigga, I like what the fuck I like too.
That's right.
So I respect what you dig, but on the same time, I don't dig that, but I rock with this over here. You know what I'm saying? And that shit's all good. That's not me dissing nobody or hate nobody. Like that's not my cup of tea, yo. I don't drink like that. You know what I'm saying? Like I drink like this, and that's okay. Popping any kind of like if everything sounded the same, what the fuck is the point? There's no point. Like there has to be diversity and new flavors and new shit that's intriguing and shit. Like I'm having conversations about Migos and shit, but it's this new style of shit or whatever. And I remember when Jim Jones kind of ushered in why they're popular. And what I mean by that is like his focus, like he couldn't rap, but his fucking background vocals were insanely entertaining. So now you got niggas like Migos and motherfuckers that really focus more on the ad-libs and background shit than they do on the fucking bars and shit. And I can't completely knock that because it is entertaining. Like that shit's funny as fuck to me sometimes. You know what I'm saying?
Well,
like,
what's interesting about Migos is, here's the thing too. Migos, in my opinion, you know, like actually, me and Sean were just discussing this today, and the discussion of like Amigos in particular is a group that has now ushered a sound in that everybody wants to sound like. Whether it's good or bad, it doesn't matter because there's hundreds and hundreds of groups now trying to sound like the Migos.
And that's problematic. That's where shit gets cookie cutter and whack. Like that's the whack. That's not hip hop to me because the whole hip hop shit is like originality was like rule number one. At the top of the shit is like do what the fuck you do, but just do that shit all the way.
And that's where you're right, where it's not being hip hop. Where okay, so pop music, that's the formula for pop music. Someone comes out with something, and then everything becomes cookie cutter, and it goes and it runs its course until it's completely dead.
That's the corporate model. You know what I'm saying? And hip hop is anti-corporate, but that's not just music. That's with fucking fidget spinners and motherfucker. You know what I'm saying? Like it's a rush to get this shit in stores, and it's 100 companies now that make the same goddamn product. Like it's the same shit with business. It's just that capitalism, quick money grab. Pop was anti all of that shit. You know what I'm saying? Like we're not on that shit. Like
well, also too, like me and Sean had this discussion earlier. There was an era and a time where we really held down the divide between like hip hop and rap. Right? There was like, yo, there's some hip hop shit and there's some rap shit, and the rap shit was way more about some paper shit. People wouldn't trip on rap records, so to speak, radio airplay records. Right? They wouldn't trip on them. They were what they were. And people. You either liked it for the club or whatever, or you didn't like it and didn't listen to it. There wasn't that much. There was a clear divide. Now it's like there's no more divide, and all this commercial shit has just.
Well, the only reason why there's no more divide is because money became became big business. Hip hop became big business, and it just really destroyed the definition of what we hold dear to our hearts. Is called hip hop. You know what I'm saying? So now it's just.
But even before that, like there was like this divide was not as defined as you may think because we're going to shows like EPMD was on tour and shit, early 90s and shit. Like 2 Live Crew was with them. You know what I'm saying? Like different fucking shit, but it was always like 2 Live Crew was like another act on with NWA and shit. Like it was always like that. You know what I'm saying? So it wasn't like as far as the divide like that, where it was like there's all these different kinds of groups. It just definitely wasn't a tour when all these niggas sound exactly like the last nigga that got off.
Yeah, and that's just where that pop business model got involved with it. But it's funny, you see these guys in their interviews, like Yachty and Uzi Vert and these kids, they'll tell you, they're like, I ain't a rapper. I ain't hip hop. I'm a fucking rock star. They literally say that.
So
I can't be you can't be mad at Yachty for saying that though, because really, in all honesty, that's what he's on. Like they're on all of the part and none of the pop part. So they didn't classify wrong and shit. Fucking fuck. He's being honest and shit. Man, I don't really do that. I don't subscribe to that.
Meanwhile, he's dancing for
motherfuckers
Target,
still saying corporately this is hip hop.
I was gonna say so what point do we?
It's not. Stop labeling.
I was just gonna say, so at what point do we stop calling it hip hop? Because at some point, hip hop is now old enough where general pop music is taking that influence and making pop records. Just like in the 70s and in the 80s, there was records that some people would still call rock, but it was pop music. It was pop music that was influenced by rock and other genres, and hip hop has definitely been to that point. But especially now, it's like it's pop music. It's not hip hop.
Well, the only reason why it's still being called hip hop is because big business keeps calling it hip hop.
Well, it's
No, the only reason it's being called
and they
hip hop is because it's young black dudes doing it. Period. That's it. It's niggas doing that shit. So it's fucking hip hop. Period. You know what I'm saying? And that's like,
well, and also, do you think just people rapping automatically gets thrown into hip hop, where hip hop is a culture and it's way more than just the music and rap, and it gets lost in translation, and people see people rapping and they just call it hip hop?
Dude, it's motherfuckers that singing right that don't even rap, and motherfuckers be like they hip hop because they fucking
business
black.
Keep calling it hip hop because
like,
they're black.
Right.
I mean, who the fuck? I'm just saying, like, it's a young black dude come out, yo, you're a hip hop artist unless you're like singing with a motherfucking guitar and it's obvious you on some Wyclef shit. You know what I'm saying? Like,
no, you're 100% right.
You fucking hip hop.
I remember when I thought it was weird that they were putting Mary J. Blige and calling her hip hop back in like '92, and I was like, she's dope and she's hip hop as far as like how she is, but her music is R&B, and I used to think that was weird. Like, you'd see the source and be like, hip hop R&B, and they were kind of make it a thing. Well, I guess she had the hip hop vibe to her, but she was singing.
They had to make that. There's a profound difference between Anita Baker and J. Blige, and at the time, Anita Baker was fucking R&B.
Right.
True.
This came out, and this ain't like, these beats are not Rapture of Love type ballads and shit. Like, this is some hard rap shit. You know what I'm saying? So they ain't no way to identify that. That's really like part of the genius of Puffy and shit, where as much as you can't stand a nigga on one hand, on the other hand, his business savvy like unmatched because he saw that and
it created a whole new genre of music in which they could make tons of money on.
Exactly. You know what I'm saying? Like when that neo soul shit came out, like it's just like a genre, it just be like, why, nigga? It's two kinds of music, good and bad. That's how I feel about it. Like, all the shit gets kind of played. You know what I'm saying?
No, you're right. Yeah, no, it's interesting, man. It ushered in all those other kind of R&B hip hop people like Case and Montel. Montel Jordan and that whole vibe. 112.
R&B, like, it wasn't Luther Vandross and Anita Baker no more. It was fucking Jodeci. You know
but then
what I'm
that
saying?
neo soul stuff went back to more traditional R&B sounds.
True.
Because neo soul is very traditional R&B in a sense of where it tried to do with new sounds, but the equipment's different. People were using it's new. You're not going back to the fucking old bass lines, and people ain't using fucking
some shit.
Yeah, people ain't using fucking 1988 Casio keyboards anymore, making that shit like Ready for the World.
Shit, Kanye is. They brought them motherfuckers back out. Fuck.
Flint, Michigan finest. Ready for the World.
Shout out to Ready for the World.
With the announcer shit. And he puts the 8-foot putt. It rolls. He's good. Like, you a golfer now, like a mother. This drive is gonna have to go into the wind 90 yards.
Oh, you're really good at that.
Fuck, man.
Not like you watch some golf there, buddy.
Right?
Hey, who doesn't? Buddy. Used to be dope. I'm from the 90s.
Never watched golf in my life.
I watch golf. I play golf. Golf on a video game is kind of dope. I've never
golf on a golf course is really dope too.
I've never been on a golf course in like, but
I played in real life once. That was terrible.
You guys are missing out.
I believe you.
That's why you got to play more than once.
What's that?
That's why you got to play more than once.
Yeah, no, that game sucked. If I'm not good at it instantly, I quit.
Oh, there's a joke in there somewhere, but I'm gonna leave it alone.
Carlos?
I like that. I like that you brought it back to PG-13. Hashtag
go fuck yourself.
Overrated technology.
Oh, there he is, Mr. Freeze. What's up?
And we're back. Where's my fucking announcer?
We're back.
And we're back.
Earn his check, man.
Thank you, Downey.
We were talking about Southern rappers earlier. I was going to ask you, we mentioned 8-Ball and MJG. 8-Ball and MJG are one of my favorite rap duels of all time, without a doubt, man. I don't think they get enough credit, man. I mean, they get enough credit in the South, but I don't think they got, like, as a whole in the hip-hop community.
Yeah, I mean, I had 3-6 or none of that at the time.
Oh, Griffin's on some Max Headroom shit right now.
Yeah, we're gonna have to get Griff some good internet.
Griff, I'm gonna get you some bandwidth for Christmas.
I'll hook you up with those AOL discs.
He can hear me. I know he can.
Welcome to CompuServe.
Yeah, I can hear you. That's why. Bug.
Yeah, I heard that.
That's it. Did you hear that, motherfucker?
I heard that. Beautiful.
I never really checked for 8-Ball and MJG much until their track on the Rhyme and Reason soundtrack. I love that, and then I went back and got into them a little bit more.
Yeah, that was the Reason for Rhyme, the Rhyme for Reason, the Reason for Rhyme. I remember that, but that Coming Out Hard album is an all-time classic to me. That Memphis, I like that Memphis shit, man. I like 3-6 back in the day. I liked all that shit.
So
I liked it later. Juicy J and Project Pat. I liked all that shit later, but at the time, like I was on some shit. You know what I'm saying?
Sure.
I wasn't fucking with that shit.
I was there too, but I always kind of was able to not give a fuck and like it all, like what was good. But I feel you, because there were a lot of people like my homeboy John, who everybody knows here. That motherfucker, he invented Get Off My Lawn in 1994, man. He was fucking throwing fucking CDs out the window of people. Like fucking a Mace album. Somebody goes, "Hey, you got the new Mace album?" You take that motherfucker and try to cut you with it.
Mace album. Yeah, I didn't feel like when Mace came out, I thought that was the most horrible shit ever.
Yeah, but he was pretty horrible. And now we look back and we're like,
it's not that bad.
Can we please go back to Mace?
Right, like it's not that fucking bad.
Nah, Mace makes some of these motherfucking young kids look like fucking like Rakim compared to some of these young kids.
Crazy, man. But I can't.
It is.
Like, you know, it's some shit here that I do. Like it is motherfuckers pushing the envelope. But I will admit, like after hearing shit like Resurrection and Illmatic and fucking Pharaoh's album, like the Organized Confusion shit back in the day, like you would think 20 after that be in a whole different realm. You know what I'm saying? Like as far as wordplay, as far as language usage and all that shit, it kind of regressed instead, which is the biggest shock to me as far as where the fuck hip hop is now. It seems like everything is the opposite, even with fashion. Like, and these motherfuckers make it a like it's topsy fucking turvy, and it's there, you know, what the fuck is going on and shit. Everything is flipped over.
I told you to ask your kids not to be playing video games. You're on a radio show, but you won't talk to me like I'm fucking Pat Sajak and shit. But okay.
He's like Pat Sajak. He's gonna come back.
See, but that's the reason you asked it. You told.
Okay. Let me get you a vowel.
So
that's it.
You know, it's funny because there is a lot of really good hip hop out there that's still out there. If you search, you find a lot of good lyrical hip hop. But my only thing is it's all older people from, you know, it seems to be mostly a lot of older generational rappers that are still doing it. And there are some newer ones, but it's few and fewer that are.
You want to try that a sixth time?
Shut the fuck
Few
up.
and far in between.
Few and far in between that are coming with the real lyrical shit, man, and that's kind of scares me because, like again, There was a really dope record the other day with Gift of Gab, and but you had Afro, so that was really cool. You had RA and Gift of Gab and Afro, some really dope lyrical shit. But I'm afraid like more and more things get out of control. These kids are just gonna see the only thing that's out there is like the mumble rap shit.
I mean, that was an issue always with what was on the mainstream, period. Like the underground was the underground for a reason. We never was digging what the fuck was on the radio at any time. Shit.
I can hear Carlos drawing like.
So good.
This is still pretty funny.
That's crazy.
Risky.
Yeah.
You need to go on Bandcamp sometimes and just peruse through Bandcamp because it's a lot of kids on there that's super lyrical. That,
I haven't been on
that
there,
you
so
would find. Yeah.
That's good.
We removed from the underground. You old now, G. That shit is the young man's game. You got to go find it. None of that shit. It's never been in the mainstream ever.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You won't find it there.
Just like everybody used to get upset when Elvis was on TV shaking and doing all kinds of jittery shit. Everybody lost their mind back then too. You got to let kids handle their shit. Later, people are going to look back and say, what was that mumble rap bullshit? Or if it's good, they're going to be like, oh, you remember that back when we were doing stupid shit, listening to that one song.
Well, like again, once again, even we talk about how you go back to Mace, fuck it, you can go back to Soulja Boy and be like, look how lyrical that motherfucker was.
Jesus Christ.
Hey.
Soulja Boy.
Jesus Christ.
Hey, those people Superman in that hole all over the place.
Yeah.
You can't hate on that. He's doing, and he's getting paid doing that stuff.
That's crazy.
I hate it,
fucking Soulja Boy and shit. Oh shit.
Well, we're gonna get down to this or that.
Let's get it.
What up?
Boy, hang on. You can't just slam on the brakes. You gotta let people know. I gotta set things up.
Oh,
gotta have a segue here.
All right, Pat Sajak, you got that shit ready? We're going into this or that.
And now. Okay, go.
What the fuck?
What the hell happened to the music?
Wow.
YouTube said fuck that.
Okay, go.
All right, this will be your homie Scarface.
This is a group of professionals right here, folks.
Very professional about this shit.
Welcome,
Wow.
welcome to the radio show.
So, I'm gonna ask you this or that: Scarface solo or Scarface Ghetto Boys?
Scarface solo. He wrote most of the Ghetto Boy shit anyway, so it was all his raps, but Scarface solo for sure.
I wasn't gonna do this one, but since you mentioned Ghetto Boys, I'll do another Ghetto Boys one. Big Mike or Willie D?
Willie D. Easy. Bald Head Hoes, one of my favorite songs growing up.
Bald Head Ho.
Easy. I fuck with Big Mike a little bit, but Willie D, nigga, all day long. That's easy.
That's dope.
I got one. You touched on this subject earlier, so we need to know sativa or indica.
Matter, but
You gotta choose one.
He's like all of the above.
right, like both motherfuckers. Gumbo, nigga. I mean, which way? Let me see. Which one make you sleepy? Not that
I don't
one.
know. I think all of them.
Nah, not all of them. One of them is Upful, and the other one is like the Super Kush sour shit. Like I can't fuck with sleepy weed. Sound fucking. Yeah. But like train wreck, I think that's indica. Train wreck, some Upful shit to get you up. I fuck with that shit all day. But shit, yeah.
I guess I got one. You've performed all over the city. I'm thinking either Elbow Room or Sub T.
Elbow Room.
Word up.
Sub T is easily accessible, and Elbow Room was like some super dope shit to go do and shit. You know what I'm saying? Sub T is like, you know, Sub T and shit. That's like niggas' first stage. But Elbow Room was like, nigga, everybody don't rock here. You know what I'm saying? Like, that shit was special and shit. So yeah, Elbow Room. It should have been like Double Door or Elbow Room. Then I had to think that other spot that was like special to rock that shit. You know what I'm saying?
Well, would you pick Elbow Room over Double Door?
No, I would pick Double Door over Elbow Room.
Upstairs Double Door.
Nigga, there's only the fucking
no. So basically, hold on. No. Double Door in their later years start to have downstairs. They used to
like pool tables and shit. Like
no. They had bar and pool table down there. They did, but they have a stage down, or they did have a stage down there before they. That's little as
fuck down. That's fuck. They was trying to really do something.
That's exactly what they called it. They called it door number. They called it door number 3, and they would have the little wax
door
down
and
there.
Shit. Triple
door number 3. Yeah,
that's where they would do the trap house parties.
Now that's where like the fucking dressing rooms and shit and all that shit would be. They didn't turn that shit into a separate thing and shit. Yeah, but Double Door was all like in the 90s and shit was like. I mean, that's where like the Rolling Stones when they was doing secret fucking pop-up shows, like they popped up at Double Door and shit. Like that shit was
Springsteen did a show there.
Yeah, just out of nowhere, but that shit be special. I think Prince, like motherfuckers would just pop up and rock Double Door and leave and shit. You know what I'm saying? So if you was on the bill at Double Door, it was bigger deal than Elbow Room for sure. Especially in the 90s, nigga. That shit was crazy. Yeah. And then the Metro was like above that.
Yeah, Metro and Double Door are like brother, sister places.
Well,
like
Metro had a bigger stage and they had like a balcony, nigga, and that shit was like the next level. Shit, like, oh, it's a balcony in this motherfucker. Like, nigga, stop. For real.
Atlanta or Houston?
Houston, but I've never been there. I just hate Atlanta.
There you go.
Fair enough.
There goes our Atlanta viewers.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, I think that any more questions, guys?
The comments of our guests do not represent the views of the Midway team. Nah. Griff, man, thank you thank you again for coming on with us tonight.
No doubt. That shit was fun, man. No problem at all. Appreciate y'all and what the fuck y'all doing. Like that shit is important and dope than a motherfucker, just so y'all know and shit. So you know while y'all around, so I can tell y'all that shit is dope as fuck.
I got
right now.
I got 2 portraits to share with you guys.
This nigga Jackson's in trouble.
Yeah.
So this is a portrait of Ryan.
Stupid. You're dumb as hell, boy.
That's a little gleam of light flying off his forehead, his bald skull.
I like it.
And then since Griffen was
with no eyebrows. No eyebrows in his
Since Griffen was mostly pixels all night with bandwidth issues.
That's actually pretty good. That last one was
That's pretty accurate. That might be the piece.
It's fucked up.
Did we finish that? What were you working on over there, Los?
I was gonna say he's gotta talk nice.
I'm gonna finish up, but yeah.
That's dope. That's dope.
That is dope. Yeah, I need that. That's ill.
Yeah, I'll finish it up. Look at he's got his little Midway T-shirt because you can go to midwaydoc.threadless.com and get this very T-shirt.
Exploited for the culture, for the motherfucking culture.
That's right.
That's pretty dope.
So yeah,
I like it. That's dope, Lawson. That's dope.
Got Griff on there. Yeah. Well, I'm gonna finish it up.
Man, you did that shit before we started. You was just coloring it, right?
No, you did that whole thing.
No, that's why I'm quiet most of the time.
No,
One, it helps Risky get off of his chest whatever he's got to say.
The camera is not over your shoulder.
What's that?
the camera not over your shoulder watching you, man. I don't believe it. I think you was going. Like you did that motherfucker 2 days ago and shit.
I was doing that and practicing my Pat Sajak.
I believe it. Going well. But yeah, I appreciate y'all, man. Shit is dope.
Yeah, Griff. If people want to catch up on you, see what you're doing, get your music, where can they find you at?
Best spot where I drop everything is griffen.bandcamp.com. But shit, I'm on Twitter, twitter.com/Griffen. You can search Griffen Face Mob. That shit'll pop up. I'm Googleable. That's a word now and shit. So yeah, Griffen with an E, just like Inglewood with an E.
I want to hear Risky say he's Googleable.
He's a Googleable thespian.
Hey, I got a shout out to Larry Bruick, one of Mike's best friends, who was listening to the show. He was texting and said he was listening and said it was great to hear the Mike stories.
Nice. What up, Larry? And I gotta say too, they, Larry, Gil, Brian, a bunch of people did an amazing job raising money this weekend for the walk. As Nema, is it? I'm horrible with names. I'm really bad at pronouncing things. What was it, Risky?
I don't know. I donated money, but I can't remember what it was. So hold on one second.
I want to make sure. Yeah, I want to make sure I get it right. I had that down to talk about. And of course, don't.
I'm trying to go to Larry's page, but of course it's
finely tuned machine, ladies and gentlemen.
It was a little crazy day today.
For the thing. The walk. It is.
Yeah, so it was the National Alliance for Mental Illness, and they did it. And Larry and a bunch of Mike's friends came together to raise money for this disease, for mental health, and did a walk. And I think their goal was $10,000 to start, and they ended up just shy of 25,000. So
nice.
they did an amazing job, and shout out to them guys for that. So
that's dope.
Yeah, that's ridiculous. Yeah, I mean they were the furthest, and they were the biggest group of people who did the walk by far. So
yeah. So thank you for reminding me about that. Shout out to Larry. Shout out to Mood Swings. Shout out to Massive. Shazam Bangles. A bunch of other people checking in tonight. Risky, people want to follow you. Where can they find you at?
Hold on one second. I got to pull up my Instagram to tell you because I don't know about heart.
How dare you? How dare you?
Sean Doe, where can people find you?
Twitter, Facebook.
On the west side, running from the police. In a bunker, nigga.
Hiding in 3 bushes down.
Yo, at DJ Sean Doe, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram.
Risky, are you ready?
Yeah, I'm ready. At DJ Risky Biz 1975 Instagram.
How do you forget that?
I don't fucking know.
It's only his name.
It is birth year. It is birth year.
All of you.
His own birth year.
All of you.
Oh, I don't know what it is. It's something.
Go fuck yourself.
Carlos.
Something with the word DJ in it.
Eric, you spell business with an S.
No.
He spells it with a
I know he spells it with an
S. The other S is for savings.
You guys are assholes forever. Forever.
Yo. So yeah, you can find me on the internets. Just look up Coconut Justice, coconutjustice.com, Coconut Justice, pretty much everywhere else. I want to take this opportunity real quick. We got a homie, Jose Garibaldi. Couple reasons why we got to shout him out. One, brother is killing it in LA. He's working at DreamWorks TV. doing all kinds of character development and design and stuff like that. And he's from Chicago. And he kicked in on Patreon. He knows.
Sweet. That's our brother.
Yeah, dude. He kicked in on Patreon, so he believes in what we're trying to do, and he said something about Ryan looking a little skinny, and so he kicked in the cheese sandwich. Yeah, but no, he's going to be on Sketch Zone this week too. So if you guys want to see what he's been up to, sketch.zone. That's a weekly podcast. And
yes. For those that don't know, that is the weekly podcast for our boy Carlos right here. Carlos, do a little plug for Sketch Zone quick.
Just did,
right.
But okay.
I thought I did that. I'm just saying.
Where the hell were you?
Every week we talk to people that are in the creative industry. So we've talked to one of my favorite. They've been on the show a couple times, but the brothers behind Brother Man Comics, they've been on a couple times. Go to sketch.zone and do a search for Brother Man Comics. Those brothers are killing it. My favorite shows. We've talked to like movie directors.
Hey, Rich, what I showed you earlier.
That's pretty ironic because look at what Griffen texted me today.
We talked to animators. We talked to special effects folks. Boom.
Can you guys see that?
Anya Buile up in that piece.
Griffen texted me this today. Brother Man #1.
Yeah.
I told you I had that shit, boy. Number 1, 2, 3. I got like the first 10 of them bitches.
Yeah.
Chicago was a heavy supporter of Brother Man Comics, though. You would see it all over the place. Actually, DeRoe, I think, put up a video of like just something like back in 93, 94, and in the window was a Brother Man poster. It was dope.
And there's 3 of them, and they're all cool as fuck. Go to sketch.zone and check that out. There's 2 of them. Check them both out because they're both dope AF.
They're both dope AF.
Oh goddamn, that was
funny. Yeah, we got I think this week we're gonna do show 119. So
respect.
Yeah, so we've been doing that for a minute. So go check that out.
Yes.
We got a bunch of Chicago folks on there too. God, what's his name? I can't remember. The guy who does Trill League, he's been on there. Yeah. Anyway, we'll check it out.
Yeah. Cool. And you can find me on Twitter and Instagram, 278 Media. The numbers 278 Media. And you can also go to, if you want to know everything about Midway, which is exactly what this podcast and everything is about, go to midwaydocumentary.com. And there's links to all the social media and stuff out there. Midway Doc on Twitter, Midway Doc on Instagram. Go to our YouTube page and check out all the videos.
Fuck, all those vignettes are fucking dope, nigga. That shit is ill. Go check that shit out.
Yes, sir. Thank you. We got a lot more of those coming. If you want to support us in any way, you can go to midway.com, midwaydocumentary.com. Go click on support, and then that'll take you to links to our merchandise, to our Patreon account. You can get, if you want to donate through Patreon, or through PayPal, you can do that.
The resemblance is uncanny.
And look at how I wrote his name. Herr Brockmeyer. Herr Brockmeyer.
Jesus Christ, Risky.
Jesus.
Quick shout out to our sponsors, Shure Microphone. Thank you for the Motive microphones that we use for the podcast and some of the equipment that we got for our interviews. And shout out to Doug Infinite and High Powered for providing us with the music. And
wait. Doug Infinite, what?
Doug Infinite provides our intro music.
God damn. Ain't that about a bitch? All right, so real quick before we sign off, because you said that and I didn't bring it up, like, dude, Doug Infinite stole a fucking song from me, man. That ended up on a Common record in 1998, dog. Like, I did a show at the Metro with Dirty MF, the Freeloaders, called One Too Many. That nigga was there. He talked to us after the show, said how dope the song was. And then a year and a half later, I hear the shit on Common Album, dog. Same fucking hook and everything. And we ain't had a conversation. Like, that shit is still fucking with me. Just for the record to put that out there. That shit was bogus.
Seems like that needs to have a conversation.
Like, fam, the One Too Many song on Common Album, I heard this shit like, damn, that's my fucking hook. Like, the nigga was like, yo, that shit is dope. Right after the show, G. And then I hear that shit the next year on this nigga record, boy, with this nigga doing my hook. So every time I hear that nigga name, I be like, damn, man, that's the nigga that robbed me for the shit. And I'm like, we know all the same people, but I've never met this nigga beyond that day at that show. So to like holler at him or whatever, like, so just because you brought that up and he did the intro music, like, hey, man, that shit was fucked up. But all right, carry on. Some fucked up shit.
Well, Midway.
I love how we end on a positive note.
Bringing friends together.
I think from now on, I'm going to make a Ryan mask and then do my Midway in a Ryan mask like this.
You know what? Whatever you got to do to pat yourself on the back, please continue because remember, I'm happy for you.
No, trust me, I'm not patting myself on the back because none of this is very hard or difficult.
Anyway.
Look at the Napoleon Dynamite frustration.
All right. Well, we're gonna be back next week. We're gonna be closing out. We're gonna be closing out September with our last Midway Radio of September with Paz lyrics from the 7 Odds crew. So that will be a good show as well.
Woo woo.
Yeah, 7 Odds. We need to get Tech on too.
We can work on that. Let's talk about that off air.
Saying.
All right, everybody. Griff, man, thanks again for joining on.
Surely, yeah.
Yeah, this was fun. Everybody, we'll be back next week. And until then, midwaydocumentary.com. Peace.
Out.
Buy a t-shirt.
Buy a t-shirt.
Or a few.
3 t-shirts, nigga.
midwaydoc.threadless.com. Peace.
Hungry.
Griffen, get some bandwidth.